can't sleep. I love how my cat's in the background just, doing um whatever. Uh I swear if you guys start a cat fight, I'm not gonna be happy. I also have a fan blowing because it's kind of hot. Uh so if you hear that, like I'm really sorry. Um Anyways, so I figured instead of an actual Let's Play, like I'm probably gonna be doing stuff on my computer, like while I'm streaming this, because why not? Um, but like you guys can't see what I'm doing. Stop being a butthead, computer. Um, so it's just gonna be kind of chatting about like whatever. Mainly I've been like super duper into. Sorry, I can hear the cat toys in the background, so I've been super duper into um conspiracy theories and um unsolved mysteries lately. Um to the point where it's like I'm pretty sure it would be considered an obsession. Um and it's probably not a safe obsession either, but it's an obsession. I mean it's not a bad thing. Um but it's an obsession. Um it's interesting to say the least. Uh because I want answers to some of these unsolved mysteries that I am like obsessed with, but like you can't get answers to some of them and it just pisses me off, which is why I am here um just chatting about it because I don't know, it a way to talk about it, I guess. I have a viewer, but I can't see who it is. I'm still learning the ropes how this works. So bear with me on that. Um, but hi to like the one person watching me right now. Oh crap, I forgot. Put my phone on vibrate so it doesn't make a lot of noise. Um, so honestly, I think some of the biggest unsolved mysteries that I have, like real concern and like curiosity about, are for sure, like the Elisa Lamb one is one, but it's kind of in a way been solved. Um, the Dyatlov Pass is another one that like I'm obsessed with. Um, ma'am, I told you, ma'am, did I ask for some access? What are you doing? Hi, hi. What are you doing? You got dirt on your ear, baby. You gonna say hi? You wanna say hi? Cute little shit. Oh, Dyatlov Pass is the other one that I really want answers to. Uh, I'm typing, that's why I'm losing my train of thought. And I'm also tired, so I like really don't know how long this is going to work. Like how long I'm gonna be doing this, because I am a little tired, but not like super tired. Don't be a butthead. Hey, you come here. Get back over here. Stop being mean to your sister. Um, I mean, if so, I think the one I'm gonna probably talk about right now is the Dyatlov Pass one. Because that's I feel like if I talk about it, maybe I'll get answers, even if it's just like, oh, that makes so much sense. So basically, for anyone that doesn't know, um, Dyatlov Pass incident is what it's called. This happened back in 1959, and it was a group of hikers. I believe it was 9 of them. They were hiking on Dyatlov Pass. Uh, Actually, it wasn't called that. It was called the Dyatlov Pass incident because Igor Dyatlov was the leader. Um, so let me see if I can't find uh some information that will make more sense. And apparently, like this one has like recently this year been solved, like supposedly been solved. So it was a group of hikers, 9 Russian hikers that went to the Ural Mountains um, in February of 1959. And then they died in mysterious circumstances, and only one actually survived. The one survivor had left the expedition because he was sick. Um, the leader was Igor Dyatlov. Um, and then eventually afterwards it was actually named Dyatlov Pass in memory of this group later on. There was also Yuri Doroshenko, Ludmila Dubinina, Georgy, but he went by Yuri, Krivonchenko. I am like awful with Russian names, so there was also Alexander Kolvatov, uh, Zenaida Kolmogorova, Rustam Slobodin, Nikolai Brignoles, and or Semyon Zoltarov, and Yuri Yudin. Yuri Yudin is actually the one that left the expedition early on due to an illness, but he did pass away in 2013 at the age of 75. Um, According to the reports, um, Igor, Yuri, both Yuris, other than the one that left, Doroshenko and Krivonchenko are the other 2 Yuris. Um, Alexander, Zenaida, and Rustam all died from hypothermia, is what they said. Ludmila had internal bleeding from severe chest trauma. Semyon Zoltarov had severe chest trauma, and Nikolai had a fatal skull injury. But it's very weird. Like, so how they died was really weird. Because they the tent that they were in, first off, had been found ripped from inside. So they had like ripped it open from the inside, or something had. Um, they left on their own accord from their campsite on foot, and some of them actually did not have clothes on. Well, they had underwear and things on, but they didn't have any other clothes on. Some of them didn't have shoes on, and I was listening to a podcast called Morbid, uh, a true crime podcast, and they covered this case and like talked more in depth about it. Apparently, two of them were together. Like the first two that were found, were together, and they had apparently tried to climb a tree, either to get a better look or to get away from something. And there was even a fire. There was remnants of a fire near their bodies. So like, if they were running from something, that doesn't make sense. Like, why would they stop to build a fire if they were running from something? Um, one of them was found with their tongue missing. Um, and that was kind of wild. Like, and I don't know, like, so I've heard different stories. Um, that um the tongue was actually like found near them or something. Like I've heard that before, but I also heard like it was completely missing. Um so yeah, here we go. The first bodies, like backtracking a little bit, the first bodies found were Krivonchenko and Doronchenko. They were under a cedar tree and there was a remnants of a fire. And they weren't very far from the destroyed campsite. Um the next bodies found were three more, which was Igor Dyatlov, Kolmogorov, Rova, and Slobodin. Uh, they all five of these bodies were barely clothed. Now, mind you, the temperatures were like negative 13 to negative 220, or negative 22, not negative 200. Jesus, that would be to negative 22 degrees Fahrenheit. They were also found without shoes, and they were only wearing underwear. So, but there's also like, so I can understand that with hypothermia, there's this thing called paradoxal undressing. So it's basically where your body, when you're having hypothermia, will feel like it's burning and you'll just start undressing. Like, so that could have been what happened. Um, However, the rest of their group, now mind you, that was only five of the bodies. And so there was three bodies missing, because one person had left the expedition. So there was three bodies still missing. They weren't found until months later because of the snow. Uh, Brignoles, Dubinina, and Zoltarov. Now Zoltarov was the oldest. He was 38. The others were all in their 20s. They were all found inside of a ravine 187 feet deep in the woods. They had the most clothing. They were actually wearing the items of the other hikers. So that's what's a little wild. They may have gone back and taken the clothes from their dead friends, which I mean that's possible. But like, why didn't they just return to the campsite? Um, Brignoles had suffered significant skull damage moments before his death. Like that's wild. Dubinina and Zoltaryov, they had significant chest fractures that would only be caused by an immense force that was comparable to a car crash. Like, I can't think of anything actually doing that. Um, like, there's no animal I can think of that would do that. And, like, they also said that there was no outer, um, markings. Like, so basically, there was nothing on the skin itself. So there was no like lacerations, there was no bruising or anything like that. This was all internal damage, and it's like, what the hell could have done this? Um, Now Dubinina, her body was the worst. She was the one that was missing the tongue, even her eyes, parts of her lips were gone, and her facial tissue. Now, part of her skull bone was also missing. Yes, that's kind of weird, but at the same time, you also have to think that these bodies had been there for months before they were found. Now, that could be explained as like, okay, well, maybe some animal took it, which is possible. But I mean, they had also said that they were. So, another thing that I heard, and this was also from Morbid, a true crime podcast, which you can find them on like Spotify, Pandora, wherever you can find podcasts. They're really great. Um, but they also said that like those last three were like buried in the snow. Like they had dug almost like a trench in the snow and like put sticks and stuff to try and like keep their warmth and keep off of the snow. So like if they were buried, then what kind of animal could have gotten to them if they were buried underneath the snow? Like it's just weird, but it's also like, okay, that's also kind of explainable. Now, there's been different so about the tongue missing. Um, I've heard different things. I've heard that it was ripped off like at the base. I've also heard that it was just like almost like it had been bitten off. I've never really gotten a clear like viable answer on that one. Now, mind you, this is all like it's in Russia, so it's being translated from Russian to English. So obviously, I'm not going to have clear understanding. Um, it's also odd that they were scattered and like had left in such a hurry because they like left most of their things behind. Um, Now Zoltarov had a camera. Um, but supposedly it was too damaged when it was still developed and was nothing but blurs. Now, I mean, okay, cool. There was also three other cameras that were found. Um, 6 rolls of film. So I mean, but Zoltarov's was supposedly far too damaged, which would make sense because he was also buried in the snow. But that's just weird that they would say that. Um, Now they chalked it up to the hypothermias and, you know, something happened, maybe an avalanche or something like that. Now, when I said that, um, um, they had basically solved it was earlier this year, or like the end of last year to the beginning of this year. Um, they actually used so from the animated movie Frozen, like if you've watched it, which I will admit I have not seen it, but there's a lot of snow. There's a lot of like, um, I wouldn't really like snow falling and like probably avalanches and things like that. Well, apparently they were able to take this animation project and use it to simulate what could have happened. And apparently, in this simulation, they supposedly proved that an avalanche could have done this to them. But that would have had to been one strong avalanche. And it also doesn't explain the fact that, some of the bodies, like the first five, were found, but the last three weren't. So unless the first five survived the avalanche and then died, that could make sense. But it's like, what? Like, why? So yeah, they supposedly have solved this one, but I still don't believe it. Like, so some of the other theories are, um, basically that uh, there was the Yeti, the Russian Yeti, of course. We all expect that one. Um, Aliens, that's another big one. Uh, which that one doesn't make sense, but whatever. Um, there was obviously the avalanche theory was very big, but it just, I don't know, part of me can't see that one because when they took pictures of the campsite, what are you doing? Her face. When they took pictures of the campsite, when they found it, some of the stuff was still standing like normal, but I guess, okay, maybe that could be possible. I've never been in an avalanche, so I don't know how avalanche logic works. Um, Another theory, and this one also seems a little more, it's iffy. Another theory was, or is, that it is a Russian government cover up because they may have stumbled upon something they shouldn't have, the normal thing. Because that's heavily a thing. Um, it's just interesting because all the theories make sense and you're just so cute. Um, I mean, that's my opinion is that really, I mean, I kind of lean more towards the Russian cover up just because it makes more sense. Like there was radioactivity found on some of their clothing. Um, it just doesn't explain some of it. Like, and I mean, this happened in 1959, so there's no survivors. Like the only survivor there was is dead now, and even then, he wasn't there when the event happened. So we're never really gonna get answers. I do know, like I've heard that you don't talk about this in Russia. Like they did reopen the case back in 2009. So I mean, I guess now you can talk about it. Um, but before you really couldn't. Like it was almost as if it was really just, I don't know if it was just they were like, okay, look, this happened, but we're not going to talk about it, or if they were actually covering something up. She's going to sleep. The only time she's good. But that's, why are you being so dang cute right now? That's the Dyatlov Pass incident, like the short version of it, because I'm not getting into the longer, more detailed version. Um, Now with the Elisa Lamb one, I actually watched a YouTube video on a channel called That Chapter, and the video was, I want to say, like a year or two old. Um, that talked about this case. And I actually learned some new information that I didn't know prior to. Because I've never really delved super deep into that one. So for anyone that doesn't know, Elisa Lamb was a woman that was, I believe, 21 or 22 years old. She went to stay at the Cecil Hotel, which is now the Stay on Main, and she died and was found dead in the water tower. And she was found because the water turned black and had this weird taste, and the water pressure was really weird, and that's when they went up and found her. There's very strange footage uh, floating around of her in an elevator. That is a little mysterious because it's like, what? First off, why did those elevator doors not close? Like, I worked in a hospital and the elevator there, like, the door would close fairly quickly. And this door didn't close. Now, she could have just hit a button, maybe, or something that could have made it, or the elevator could have been old. Um, those are, very logical reasons as to why the elevator stayed open. Um, It was a little weird that it looked like she was pressing like all of the floor buttons. That was a little odd. But I mean, she had mental problems. So it could have been that. But everyone said, there was no way that she got up on the roof by herself, yada whatever. And I was like, okay, yeah, okay, cool, that makes sense. Most hotels have a lock on the door to the roof. Like you have to have a key to get through. But a couple, either the day after or like a couple days later, I don't remember exactly. After her body was found, someone took a video. They had gotten on the roof. They used a fire escape, I believe, and they went onto the roof. Yep, easy, just like that. You would have thought that, having just found a dead body, you would have more security. But they didn't. They didn't. Um, and this person showed that right next to, so the Cecil Hotel, it's the stay on Main, had 4 water tanks. It showed that right next to the water tanks was a building, maybe like a storage building or something like that. But on like the building towards like, so here's the water tanks, here's the building. Right here on this side, there was a red like staircase that went up to the top of that building. Mind you, this person actually went up these stairs and was on the top of the building and then looked down. And now you would think that the water towers latches would be shut like all the time. Looked down, and 2 of the 4 latches were open. And now this could have just been because they had just found the body, so maybe they were leaving it open because they were draining it. But there was also a ladder found leaning against one of the water tanks. Which also again could have been just because okay, they're draining it, they have to, fix the water. Um, but still, like, so she could have just climbed down there, gotten in, grabbed the lid, because she was found with the lid shut. Once you get in the water tank, you can't shut the lid. You can't get out. Um, and she was also found nude, which she could have undressed inside the water tank. Um, so really, there's only 2 theories now, and it's she, offed herself or murder. And I mean, the report says it was she offed herself. Um, but that still doesn't. I mean, it could have been. It could have been a murder, and we'll never know because she's not here, obviously, and whoever did this won't actually come forward and say, hey, I did this thing. Um, that's just 2 of the many like unsolved stories and mysteries that I have been like super into or have recently dug more into. Um, I know, so we're about to get into some more controversial topics. This is going to be interesting, to say the least. I was on the phone with my sister-in-law the other day, and so it's funny when we do talk because we end up talking for hours and we never stay on one subject. Um, like we'll go off on tangents about something. She told me about something, and I haven't looked into it yet myself, so I don't really know much yet. But she told me, so she grew up in a very Christian, household where um she went to a private school and read the Bible, and she told me she's read through the Bible like 3 times, okay? Now she's reading through it again, but she's dissecting it bit by bit. Um, yeah. So she told me that apparently she found out a couple months ago that the whole Moses saving them from Egypt thing, it never happened. Imagine my surprise when she told me that one because I was like, wait, what? She's like, yeah. And I was like, well, if Moses never existed, like you're saying, 'cause she even said that, like, Moses never existed. I was like, well, if he never existed, and what? Like, that means the Ten Commandments never happened. That means, you know, I want to say, I believe that the first 5 books were said to have been written by him or something. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not very like religious on that front. Like I don't have a lot of knowledge about the Bible. Um but it was interesting to me because like what? Like you're sitting here telling me that now that this isn't what we were taught. It's not, but I also know that supposedly that they have found um missing books of the Bible, and these books say things that are not conformative to the way the Vatican wants us to see things. I also heavily believe that the Vatican created this Bible. Uh, I mean, they basically did um, to conform the world into the belief of only one God. Because we don't know. Like we don't know the truth. Um, if there's one or if there's many. That or it's one that has many names. Like the Greeks and the Romans could have been right. The Egyptians, the Aztecs, all of them. Like they could have been right. It could be, or they just had like multiple names for this one supposed entity um to make it more understandable, because it's really really hard to just imagine like one single deity just knowing and watching and being like all knowing and all powerful. Like that's a hard concept to grasp for some people. Even me. You know, I know that like I've tried to believe in the Bible, but that's rough because I can't see like the way that people are like, okay, well, the end is near, he's coming back, everything that they say. And I'm just like, for some reason, my mind can't grasp this when you die, this is eternity. Like, I don't know if it's because I'm not, as mentally like sound as everybody else. So I see things in a different light. It's like, but at the same time, like, so supposedly in the Bible, it mentions that there's like 4 different hells or 4 different levels of hell or something like that. And I'm like, that sounds a lot like Hades, the underworld, which is actually called Hades in Greek mythology, which it's also ruled by Hades. So that's confusing. Um, there's Elysium, which is the nicer one where people go that haven't done wrong. Then there's Tartarus, um, which is where it's like the pits of Hades. There was another, like, either one or two more spots, and I cannot, off the top of my head, I cannot remember what they are, and I'm sorry for all of my Greek mythology fans out there, because I love Greek mythology, but my brain doesn't keep up very well. It doesn't remember very well, I should say. Even the things that I love, I don't remember very well. So I mean, she wants me to look into, my sister-in-law wants me to look into this stuff more, and I might actually start looking into these things more and see what I can't find. You sweet girl. Yeah, you being a good girl. Such a she she just went to sleep on my finger. It's hers now. This is life. She's purring, so that's a good thing. It's a good thing I can still reach my mouse. At least move it into my lap so I can use it. I'm trying to think of what else, we can just chit chat about. Um, can I have my hand back, baby? Thank you. Oh, I'm sitting on my floor because I don't have my gaming set up yet, and this is easier than holding my laptop in my lap. Because I have like a coffee table that I have it sitting on, so. Hi. I like your name. I've just been raised. If you've been here long or not, I don't really know. Uh, ah, I'm sorry. I got in your bubble. I didn't mean to. Rude. Thank you. Ow. You're rude. The cat scratched me. I got too close to her. Uh, so far, I mean, if you've just joined, I've talked about Dyatlov Pass, I've talked about the Elisa case, and I've just kind of been rambling about random conspiracy theories. It's a Pokemon shirt that I got from like GameStop forever ago. It's Score Bunny. I don't remember their names. I played the game like 2 days ago and I don't remember their names. But Score Bunny's my starter. He's the one I. Excuse me. Can. Excuse me. Can you let go of my shirt, please, ma'am? Ma'am. Ma'am. Okay. My cat is stuck to my shirt, so that's exciting. Welcome to my life. Ah, thank you for letting go, ma'am. You show it all. I'm actually very comfortable right now, so I'm not moving. Like, I'm not getting up. I'm also very tired because it's like 11 o'clock at night. So I might end this uh fairly soon because I need sleep. Judgy McJudgeson over here. What need you, baby girl? Hey, play nice. Play nice. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, my girl. Give me just a second. Like how like they were deleted by a moderator, so I must have deleted them. So we're just gonna, pretend that that did not happen. Um, yeah, we're just gonna, pretend that that did not happen. Um, anyways, so back to the random talking. Um, I actually think that I might go ahead and end this for the night because I'm tired and that was just really weird. I mean, I guess I should have expected something like that. Because bots are everywhere. Um, yeah, that's yeah. So, I'm assuming it was a bot. I mean, could have been a real person, but that's just weird. Um, so yeah, for tonight, that's about it. Might do this again tomorrow. Maybe I'll actually make an actual list of what I want to talk about. Get a little more prepared. These were just things that I talked to my boyfriend about today, or well, tonight. Um, and it was kind of more like, let me talk a little more about it. Uh, he indulges my obsession with unsolved mysteries and conspiracy theories, so that's great. Um, but I just wanted more of an open platform to voice my thoughts and my opinions. So yeah, I will see you again tomorrow, maybe. Um, and I thank you for tuning in. And I wish you all a good night or morning or afternoon or, whatever it is where you are. And I hope you enjoy your day or night or, the norm. So, good night and take care.